Holiday! Oh! It's 2020! It's 2020! Imagine how it'd feel to have 1 million people on YouTube watching you. Imagine how it'd feel to have 500,000 people on Twitch watching you. The weight of next generation on your shoulders, because the other guy, they kind of botched their first big show. And now you have to impress, you have to deliver. You've promised this is the future of gaming. Can you make it happen? Can you convince the masses that this is what they waited for? The Sony PlayStation 5 reveal event just concluded, and I'm here to give you my full impressions and review. And let me just say, I think next gen is here, and I think Sony ushered in the era with absolute excellence. It wasn't perfect. There were a few missteps along the way, and I kind of questioned the order in which they did things, but it was momentous, and they built, and they built, and they built, and they took us from a place where we said, okay, PS5 will probably be cool, and I think we walked out of that show knowing that this box is going to define the next cycle for so many of us. And they showed the box, which a lot of people didn't expect to happen today. So let's get that out of the way right at the top. Oh my God! Oh my God! Game over. Game over. I know some people think the box looks like a really wonky router, but I personally think it's the sexiest console ever designed. I love the look of that system. The fact that there are 2 editions, that's going to be so good for price point and going to be so good for options. But if you guys are excited for PS5 and Xbox Series X, you should probably subscribe to XPForce. It's going to be such a fun, awesome journey. I'm going to take you with me every step of the way, and we are going to explore and experience these new consoles and all their amazing games together. So make sure to smash that like button if you're pumped for PS5 or Xbox Series X. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the reveal, your favorite part, your least favorite part. Do you like the box? I want to hear from you, and then make sure to subscribe if you want to be part of the XPForce team. I've got a bunch to say about this whole showcase, because honestly, these are the days that I live for. This is my passion, and this is why I love video games, and I always will. But I'm not going to keep you waiting. I'm not going to have you skip to the end of the video to find the score. I think the Sony PS5 reveal event gets an A-. They did nearly everything right, with a few hiccups, but they set the tone. And now it's up to Xbox and Microsoft to respond. What are they going to bring? Because we know now that next gen is here, and Sony is bringing the heat. Yep, let's go! Yes! Oh, baby. Showstopper. Aloy is back. PS5, come on. Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Horizon Forbidden West is the actual title, but that sequel is the game I wanted most, and we got it. That looks awe-inspiring. I've been calling that one for months now, so I'm glad it came true. I knew with Herman Hulst helming PlayStation, and I knew with Aloy and Gorilla able to deliver something that could help highlight why the PS5 and its supercharged SSD is so important. Big open worlds, massive environments, big monsters, and very quick, polished gameplay. It only made sense that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 Forbidden West would be the big set piece of this showcase, and I'm so glad they ended there. I don't know if the game will release this year. I sure hope it comes this fall, but even if it's 2021, it looks massive and magical. Underwater gameplay stood out to me. The new monsters and that faction that is mobilizing the mechs in really odd ways to bring these beasts back at Aloy and what she's about to accomplish. I think throughout the whole show, the size and scope was on full display. They had a lot of responsibility, and I thought their presentation was put together so awesomely. Like all the transitions, you just felt the mood. They said they really wanted you to feel like you were a part of this big day. There's no E3 press conference, right? There's no big arena to pack people in and get the hype going. But I thought they did an excellent job of really building throughout the show. If it was up to me, I probably would have led with more of the hardcore heavy hitters. They chose to kind of go a well-rounded route, which I thought was interesting. This show was incredibly well-rounded because they tried to wrap in all sorts of demographics in ways that I didn't fully expect. You know, we got Ratchet & Clank and Sackboy and Astrobot really bringing in the color and whimsy that can appeal to gamers young at heart and gamers truly young. I think that's a smart move, especially to differentiate themselves from what Xbox seems inevitably about to showcase. But no matter the game, they focused on why these games are worthy of that next-gen name. Why PS5 is the place to play the best. And the graphics, I thought, looked stunning. Ratchet and Clank looked ridiculous. Look at the effects, dude. Is this a tech demo or a game? Or are all the games gonna feel like tech demos? And not in the bad way, but in like, they're putting everything in. Pedal to the metal. You know your launch game's gotta show what it can do. They gotta strut the stuff of the box. Whether you're a big fan of that Insomniac franchise or not, you cannot deny that those effects all on screen, I was like, goodness gracious, this is a Walt Disney World fireworks show inside my living room, and I need it. I think showing gameplay is the way to go with these new boxes. Cutscenes will look great, of course, but I think if you want to really impress the players, if you want to really make an impression and get that money to start crawling out the wallet, gameplay always wins out. And I think the gameplay now looks so darn good. Developers, you don't have to hide anymore. You don't have to hide behind pre-rendered or in-engine. Show us true gameplay. Ratchet proved that you can do that and make it look magical. And I was excited to see that Insomniac really brought the heat with Miles Morales and Spider-Man DLC. New character, did not call it. Oh, look at those powers. The suit looks so sick. Spider-Man 2, baby. Miles Morales. Be greater. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great. I mean, there's no way that's a sequel, right? That's not a full game coming this holiday, and they have Ratchet. I'm imagining it's some sort of expansion or standalone. Will it be cross-gen? They didn't really say. Holiday 2020, though, playing as a new character with a new suit and new abilities in that world, now enhanced by PS5, it's gonna be amazing. I doubt they'll require you to have Spider-Man for PS4, so maybe it will just be something you can purchase. And if that's a cheap entry point into the Spider-Man franchise on PS5, I think that's a huge win. And then Spider-Man 2 can come down the line and it'll probably be even more mind-blowing. But I love the character shift, and I love that we're getting Spider-Man right off the bat. They say, hey, hardcore, franchises you love, we got them, and they're exclusive. They delivered tons of games. They delivered incredible graphics, and they delivered this full circle approach to ensure that PS5 isn't just for you or for me. No, PS5 is the place to play video games going forward for everyone. And I think that was one of their smartest decisions, even if it did slow the pace of the show a bit. At the Unreal Engine 5 reveal, we noticed that the worlds were getting larger. And Mark Cerny and co have talked for many months about how this console is going to make worlds massive, seamless, no loads. And we saw that scale on display. Whether it was indie titles or AAA, they made sure that, wow, the sky is far away, but it's filled. It's not just a tall, empty world. It is absolutely loaded with things to see, places to explore, enemies to fight, and incredible visuals all across the board. I thought Horizon encompassed all of that so well, and so it was the perfect final moment for this reveal, and you're going to be hearing a lot about that game because it's the one I wanted most, I predicted the hardest, and I'm going to play so darn much of whenever it launches. But third parties were there strong as well, and I was shocked to see which third party shined the brightest. They did bring Square Enix in for some new projects that may or may not be Final Fantasy. The first project, Project Athia, kind of looks like Tomb Raider fused with Dark Souls. I'm very intrigued. But those things, as we know from deep down long ago, may never truly materialize, or maybe they'll change face a few iterations and times along the way. I'm not holding my breath for those anytime soon, but it was great to see Resident Evil 8. I'm a massive fan of 7. I love that they're playing with the formula. They've got the remastered franchise, keeping it tried and true, and they're getting a little wild with Ethan, and it sure looks like they're getting weird here. In fact, some parts of that trailer felt so different and unique, almost original in fact, which I think is great for Resident Evil. I will say that the animations and some of the characters looked a little janky to me, so maybe it's more alpha than I would have expected. It sounds like that game is going to be cross-gen, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm very, very excited. And if I know Capcom and I know Resident Evil's release patterns, that game is probably coming early 2021. They love to use the Q1 slot to really get sales going, especially at a time of year that might otherwise be a bit slow. It was Bethesda, though, that really came to bat, delivering 2 tantalizing titles that are timed PS5 exclusives, and this is huge. Multi-platform games at these showcases are exciting, but when you know that, hey, I can play them anywhere, no. Bethesda, a massive publisher with two really intriguing and interesting games. Unlike things they've created lately, this isn't another Fallout. This is Deathloop, which is Arcane's evolution of Dishonored. This game looks really, really awesome. Yeah. It's like the evolution of Dishonored. There's also like a weird Bioshock We Happy Few vibe to it. Those powers and gunplay, though. Now merged with We Happy Few and some truly insane powers, gunplay, and perhaps multiple characters and some sort of strange asynchronous multiplayer. I'm not sure what they're getting at there, but it looked so good. I thought that game looked insane. And it's a timed exclusive on PS5, which means if you want to play it first, now you need Sony's ultra sexy console. And look, Ghostwire Tokyo is a really interesting merging of the minds, bringing Bethesda and Shinji Mikami together for a game that looks wholly original as well. Working your way through the streets of Tokyo with these hand gestures and powers, demented presence, it's a little bit horror, a whole lot creepy, and I can't even begin to understand what the pacing and the loop of that game will be, but I'm very excited. You know, I think Mikami has a wonderful mind for game design, and given this new set of tools, and given this strange, very different world, sign me up. Let's not forget the Saturday morning section, which honestly surprised the heck out of me. I mean, is Sony going for a piece of Nintendo's pie? Are they trying to come after Switch Force? We just started XPForce and now Sony is going Nintendo? With Ratchet & Clank, Sackboy, Astrobot, and Bugsnax, which by the way, I'm nominating for Best Song of 2020. Get your write-ins ready, Grammys. They had some really colorful, whimsical, I didn't expect that focus to be so strong. And I think that played a role in the showcase feeling a little bit stilted and in some ways oddly paced. Now it did build and build, and they started with a bang with Miles Morales, and they built all the way to Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, and the box. So there was a structure and there was a progression, but it was those ups and downs throughout. The games might be phenomenal, don't get me wrong. I think Sackboy looks really awesome. I love that Little Big Planet is now expanding into a fully 3D world. And Ratchet & Clank, like I said earlier, that game's a stunner. And I really like the recent Ratchet & Clank, so I don't think anyone should sleep on RC. The way that they're pulling between different interdimensional rifts and quickly flipping the script, changing the world, it's like that is Sony's showpiece for why PS5 is the most incredible, quickest, best tech there is. Even if the teraflops don't match up to the Xbox Series X, I feel like Ratchet & Clank is their new knack to say, hey, look what this system can do, and the game's pretty fun too. But it's clear that Sony wanted to cast a very wide net because they had an indie focus as well. And I think most of the PS5 indies look surprisingly good. It's kind of hard to remember names at this point. There were some odd ones, but that last game they showcased about the little devil inside, there's so many different gameplay elements there. I don't even know how you describe it, but I thought it looked really cool. What is this game? Honestly, it's one of the coolest things I've seen today, but I don't understand it, really. And I think we're going to see an interesting evolution, where yes, some indie games will be side-scrolling and some will still probably be pixelated, but you're going to see indie titles really elevate. And if Sony is going to dump money behind these independent studios and fund them in ways that allow them to take full advantage of the PS5, we could start to see some really exciting smaller titles that deliver on the promise of next gen at a smaller scope, but still an incredible experience. And that's exciting because right now you kind of know what indie games are all about. There's variation and variety for sure, but we're in a pattern. This almost felt like indies are going to evolve, and I like it. There's so much more to talk about. All the games, the reasons why next gen is now officially here, what Microsoft possibly does to respond at their July event. But right now, I'm gonna savor this moment. The day I first saw PS5 was a fun day. It was an awesome day. It was one that took me on a journey. It was a roller coaster from really colorful, chaotic games to the big hitters I've been dreaming about. And the box, that box. Call me crazy, but I'm in love with that box. And I cannot wait to shelve that thing and start in on Horizon Forbidden West, Spiderman Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank, Deathloop, Resident Evil 8. The list goes on, and you know there's more coming. Sony will have more to reveal, other publishers will have more to reveal, and the fire has been lit. It's just getting started, and now the spread begins. From now to November, PS5 is going to prove to you why you need to buy their console. And look, Xbox Series X is going to do the same, and we'll be covering that side of things as well. But right now, today, remember this moment. I think Sony just set us up for an incredible generation, and I think they really set the tone for why their beautiful new box is the place for hardcore gamers, young gamers, excited, future-forward thinking gamers, and honestly, maybe all gamers. A digital-only edition is a smooth move, and it's going to come in at a lighter price point that will be more palatable to people who are questioning the jump. But when you have that many new experiences, when the promise is that, hey, PS5 is the exclusive place to play so many of these games, I think you got to start thinking, this might be the box for me. It might look like a crazy Alienware router, but this might be the box for me. I want to know your take in the comments down below. I thought that was a great show. They did what they needed to do, and I loved it. But what did you think? How did you feel? Was there something missing? Were you waiting for Kratos, and that killed your hype? Or do you think the box looks so bad you didn't like the indie focus? The Saturday morning vibes didn't appeal? Or they completely won you over? I'd love to hear your take. Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys on the next video. Next Gen is here. It's our journey together, and I'm so glad you're a part of XPForce. Thanks so much, guys. Stay safe and stay healthy. Have a fantastic day. I love you a lot.